breaking news tonight. Sean Diddy Combs has been arrested in a Manhattan hotel this evening after a grand jury indicted the music mogul. His attorney tells CNN that he is currently being processed. The charges are unclear.
Apparently, Diddy's knee has been bothering him recently, so he reported it. At some point, it was decided that he needed medical care outside of the jail, so he was taken to a Brooklyn hospital.
The saga surrounding Sean Diddy Combs has taken yet another shocking turn, leaving everyone with more questions than answers. What really happened to the once untouchable music mogul? The latest whispers from behind the cold steel gates of Brooklyn's Metropolitan Detention Center are nothing short of jaw-dropping. Reports suggest that the rapper, who has been enduring unimaginable conditions for months, may now be facing a serious health crisis. And here's the real shocker: rumors are swirling that he may have contracted something as devastating as HIV while in custody. Could this be the ultimate downfall of a man who once seemed larger than life? Or is it just another dramatic twist in a story filled with scandal, betrayal, and relentless controversy? Let's break it all down.
Where Diddy has been for months now, but last week he was taken to the hospital. According to reports from the New York Post, Diddy was transported from MDC in the cover of darkness at about 10 p.m. on January 30th. He was taken to a Brooklyn hospital for an MRI after reporting issues with his knee.
The city is buzzing with speculation after reports surfaced about Diddy's sudden late-night hospital visit. Imagine this: a high-profile inmate, quietly escorted from jail under the cover of darkness in what can only be described as a mission, wrapped in secrecy. Sources claim he was taken to Brooklyn Hospital Center for an MRI scan, allegedly due to a lingering knee issue from his marathon running days. But let's be honest, since when does a routine MRI trigger this level of curiosity? Insiders are whispering that there's more to the story. The late-night timing, the effort to avoid attention from fellow inmates and staff, and the deafening silence from his legal team have only fueled suspicions. Some even speculate that the visit could be tied to a far more serious health issue. Diddy has endured months of hardship, and the conditions at the Metropolitan Detention Center, where he remains locked up, are infamous. Overcrowded cells, unsanitary living spaces, and inadequate medical care have led many to call it hell on earth. It's a stark contrast to the luxury he once lived in. Meanwhile, his lawyers have fought relentlessly to secure his release, arguing that his safety and well-being are at risk. Yet, time and time again, judges have denied bail, citing concerns over witness tampering and obstruction of justice. But here's the real question: could the harsh reality of his confinement be taking a far greater toll on Diddy's health than anyone expected?
It's incredible. And, it brings into context our whole system of innocent until proven guilty. Why is he not being given bond? And, we can debate that all day long. Of all people that's unlikely to flee or get away, well, he's got the resources to flee, but he's so recognizable. And isn't he innocent until proven guilty? Well, yeah, but, we have to recognize there are degrees of innocence until proven guilty.
We have to acknowledge that there are degrees of innocence until proven guilty. But those who've seen Diddy in court recently are raising serious concerns. Elizabeth Milner, a reporter for Law and Crime, didn't mince words when describing his appearance. She called it astonishing, noting how much thinner and grayer he looked compared to just a few months ago. Let's not forget, this is a man who built his empire on charisma and confidence, always dressed to impress in tailored suits, exuding his signature swagger. But now, reports suggest he looks gaunt, his once vibrant energy noticeably dimmed. Is this drastic change simply the result of stress and poor nutrition behind bars? Or is there something much deeper at play? That's the million-dollar question.
It's a legitimate concern. No judge wants to wake up and read the headlines the next day. Oh, they treated this guy special and they gave him bond, and now he's gone and he fled from justice. So that's what's in the back of most judges' minds. On the other hand, we deal with cases where clients have significant funds sometimes. Sometimes where there's money, you can craft a unique solution. Years ago, it was the ankle bracelet, the ankle monitor.
And speaking of nutrition, there's another layer to this story that's raising eyebrows. Multiple sources claim that Diddy has been refusing the meals provided at the detention center. Now, why would a man of his stature choose to skip meals, especially In a place notorious for offering little else in terms of comfort, Larry Levine, a former inmate turned prison consultant, offered a chilling theory during a recent podcast appearance. According to him, Diddy might be avoiding prison food out of fear that it could be tampered with. Think about it, someone as high profile and controversial as Diddy undoubtedly has enemies both inside and outside the prison walls. The idea that someone could use food as a way to harm him isn't entirely far-fetched. Levine even suggested that Diddy might be worried about being slowly poisoned. Whether or not there's any truth to this, the fact that such theories are even being discussed speaks volumes about the level of paranoia and distrust he's experiencing right now.
With all the money he has and all the resources he has, he couldn't craft some solution that lets him be under some form of house arrest. And again, it sounds like special treatment, but the truth of the matter is, to incarcerate somebody like him is expensive to all of us. We're taxpayers, and he's got to have unique situations. You can't put him in general population where everyone wants a piece of him and everyone wants to be his friend and everyone.
But let's not ignore the rumors that have truly set the internet ablaze. Some are speculating that Diddy's dramatic weight loss and frail appearance could be linked to something far more serious like HIV. The harsh conditions of the jail, combined with the lack of proper medical care, could potentially worsen any pre-existing health issues. And while there's no concrete evidence to support these claims, the mere suggestion has sent shockwaves through both the media and his fan base. After all, this is a man who has spent decades cultivating an image of invincibility. Could his time behind bars be exposing vulnerabilities he's managed to keep hidden for years? Adding fuel to the fire is the reaction or lack thereof from Diddy's legal team. They've remained tight-lipped about the specifics of his health, citing privacy concerns, but their silence has only intensified speculation. Some are questioning whether they're deliberately keeping things under wraps to prevent further damage to his already tarnished reputation. After all, Diddy isn't just fighting for his freedom, he's fighting for his legacy. Any confirmation of a serious health issue could have far-reaching consequences, both for his legal defense and for how he's perceived by the public. And now, whispers are circulating that his team might be pushing for a transfer. Could this be an attempt to secure better medical care? Or is there something even bigger at play?
They're going to try everything. They're going to try to transfer him. They're going to try to get him out. In a normal case where it's a high-profile person or a well-funded person, the prosecution and the judge is a little bit more concerned about a wrongful prosecution because people that are mad that they're being arrested for a crime they didn't commit can turn around and file for malicious prosecution.
Public perception has been relentless since Diddy's arrest. The once revered music mogul has seen his reputation take hit after hit, with each new allegation and court appearance shaping a narrative that challenges the image people once had of him. Now, with swirling health rumors adding another layer to the discussion, the conversation has shifted yet again. To some, his situation represents a tragic fall from grace. To others, it feels like karmic justice. Either way, one thing is certain, Diddy's story has captivated millions, though not in the way he would have hoped.
Every jail is bad. Some jails are worse than others. And the problem, again, is if you move him, why is he getting special treatment? And maybe he's earned special treatment. Maybe what he's done, maybe he's given so much back to his fans and to the world and to charity that maybe there's a way that it plays out in the end. But again, to go into court and say this jail is bad, move him to another jail, is not your first.
So, what's next for Diddy? That's the question on everyone's mind. With his trial not set to begin until May, he faces several more months of uncertainty. While his legal team is surely preparing a vigorous defense, another pressing concern remains: will Diddy be in any condition to stand trial when the time comes? If the rumors about his health are true, they could complicate matters significantly. Even if they're not, the fact that they're being discussed at all highlights the intense intrigue and controversy surrounding this case.
There's no way they can't move in the general population. And would he be at risk? Sure, he'd be at risk. There's so many people that have nothing to lose, right? They're going to be in jail the rest of their life. They've got nothing to. They want their 15 minutes of fame. They were friends with Diddy, or they hurt Diddy, or killed Diddy, or they did. I mean, there's so many, people in jail that this would be their moment. You can't put them there. Plus,
but here's the thing: Diddy's challenges go far beyond the courtroom. The harsh realities of life behind bars, combined with relentless media scrutiny, have created a storm that few could weather. Whether it's the whispers about his health, the serious allegations against him, or the conditions of his confinement, one thing is clear: Diddy is facing the fight of his life. As the world watches, the question lingers: how much more can he endure? Is this the beginning of the end for one of the most influential figures in music history? Or will he find a way to rise above it all? Only time will tell. But one thing is certain: this story is far from over. Diddy's saga doesn't just stop at the shocking health rumors or his visibly deteriorating state behind bars. No, the tale runs much deeper. For many, it feels like the storm clouds that have loomed over his life for years have finally erupted. But let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture, because there's a history here, one just as fascinating as it is chilling. People are now asking, is this some form of cosmic justice? Is everything Diddy is experiencing now the result of his own past actions? Let's dive into the darker corners of his life and the karma that some believe is finally coming full circle.
Civil lawsuit. Cassie said that she was the victim of abuse, assault, and at the hands of Diddy.
To fully grasp the gravity of what's happening to Diddy now, you have to look beyond the recent headlines and examine the long history of accusations that have followed him. This isn't just about his current legal troubles whispers about. His actions have circulated for decades, often portraying him as a man who lived by his own rules, regardless of the consequences for those around him. From the earliest days of his career, Diddy was a powerhouse and unstoppable force who built an empire through a mix of charm, ambition, and, according to some, ruthless tactics. Bad Boy Records became a cultural juggernaut, churning out chart-topping hits and shaping the sound of an era. But beneath the glitz and glamour, there were always darker stories lurking, tales that suggested his success came at a price few were willing to speak about openly. Take, for example, the allegations that have surfaced in recent years regarding Diddy's personal relationships. Multiple women have come forward, sharing accounts that are, at times, almost too disturbing to comprehend. One of the most high-profile cases involved his ex-partner, Cassie, who filed a lawsuit accusing him of years of torment. Though the case was settled within 24 hours, the allegations that emerged before the settlement sent shockwaves through the industry. Cassie claimed she endured manipulation, intimidation, and situations no one should ever have to experience, while Diddy has denied all wrongdoing. The sheer volume of similar stories has made it increasingly difficult for some to separate fact from fiction.
You said we are not done and that Combs did not do this alone. Do you foresee that there could be other charges related to this case?
I'm not taking anything off the table.
What makes this situation even more compelling is the new wave of allegations that has reportedly surfaced since Diddy's arrest. According to unnamed sources close to the investigation, federal prosecutors have recently amended their case to include incidents involving additional individuals who have come forward. These individuals have allegedly described eerily similar patterns of behavior, further corroborating the accusations already leveled against him. While their identities remain protected for now, the fact that more people are speaking out has added yet another layer of complexity to an already convoluted legal battle. The question remains, could this be just the tip of the iceberg? Or is it an attempt to pile on while Diddy is already down?
It sounded crazy, like I said before. They said that 2,300 people reached out to the law firm, and out of the 2,300 people, I guess they decided to go with just a little over 100. Which seems like it's they just put out the number and everybody's calling to see if they can get a check.
It's insane.
Mm-hmm.
It's insane. Now, again, he did say that nothing has been filed yet because he says he wants to make sure that they do their due diligence and get this right.
Adding to the tension is the growing speculation about what investigators uncovered during their high-profile raids on Diddy's properties earlier this year. Reports suggest that authorities found what they described as disturbing evidence, allegedly supporting the claims made in the indictment. Rumors have swirled about electronic devices, detailed logs, and even video footage, though none of this has been officially confirmed. If such evidence does exist, it could drastically alter the trajectory of Diddy's trial. However, without official statements or leaks from the prosecution, the full scope of what investigators have remains uncertain.
Diddy would be throwing all his celebrity mates under the bus.
I mean, that could potentially be coming when it's time for court and when it's time for him to testify. But what we're seeing right now is how important public relations really are to Sean Combs. He's desperately trying to control the narrative behind bars, allowing his attorneys to do documentaries.
And let's not forget the role of those who were once closest to him. Over the years, Diddy built a loyal inner circle, a network of confidants and collaborators who helped him maintain his empire. But as the case gains momentum, cracks in that loyalty have started to show. Some former associates are reportedly cooperating with investigators, offering insights into Diddy's world that could prove pivotal in court. Whether their motives stem from a genuine desire for justice or simple self-preservation is up for debate. But their involvement raises a crucial question: how many people in Diddy's orbit knew what was?
What his team is trying to do is get the public to assume that the government is leaking some of this negative information about him, like that Cassie video. But the reality is, he's got a lot of enemies, and I really don't believe it's the government.
But here's where things get even more complicated. While some see Diddy's situation as a long overdue reckoning, others argue that he's being unfairly targeted because of his status and wealth. His legal team has been vocal in their belief that the charges against him are exaggerated, if not entirely fabricated. One of his lawyers, Mark Agnifilo, has described the case as deeply flawed, insisting that Diddy is being painted as a villain because of who he is, not because of what he's done. This isn't justice, Agnifilo said in a statement. This is a witch hunt. Yet, despite the arguments about fairness and due process, the court of public opinion has already rendered its verdict. Social media, as always, has been ablaze with commentary, much of it unsympathetic. Memes, tweets, and viral posts have turned Diddy's downfall into a spectacle, with many calling his situation karma. One particularly viral comment summed up the prevailing sentiment: you can't treat people the way he has and expect to live happily ever after. The universe doesn't work that way. It's a perspective that has been echoed by countless others, transforming Diddy's unraveling into what some view as a cautionary tale.
Out to the latest on the arrest of Sean Diddy Combs. This one has so many people talking. The disgraced music mogul facing federal racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking charges. Both the prosecution and defense teams are set to discuss the next phase of action following the indictment, as investigators work to determine potential co-conspirators. But how exactly did we get here?
But let's not reduce this to a simple story of good versus evil. The reality is far more complex. Diddy's contributions to music and culture are undeniable. He helped shape an entire generation of artists, leaving an impact on the industry that will be felt for decades. For many fans, that legacy makes his current situation even more heartbreaking. How do you reconcile the man who gave us iconic tracks and unforgettable moments with the one now facing such serious accusations? It's not an easy question to answer, and it's one that both fans and critics continue to wrestle with.
It's to be expected, just the shock of this and the questions about what is ahead of us. I mean, how long is he going to be in custody? Is this an R. Kelly situation? Is he going to not get out for a number of years? Is he going to end up serving a long-term prison sentence from this? Or does he have a chance of beating these charges at a trial that could come, within the next 2 years?
And then there's the question of what comes next. With Diddy's trial not set to begin until May, months of uncertainty still lie ahead. In the meantime, concerns about his health continue to circulate. If the rumors about his condition are true, they could complicate the legal proceedings in unpredictable ways. Even if those rumors turn out to be false, the fact that they've gained so much traction speaks volumes about the level of speculation surrounding his life right now. Every new detail, every court appearance, every leaked piece of information adds another layer to an already intricate and evolving story.
It's a question of that, but when you read through the indictment, it's pretty clear who could be indicted as a co-conspirator. Right now, there are people in the indictment who would be considered unnamed co-conspirators, but clearly have played a role in this conspiracy. And I think prosecutors have some big leverage on them because they're hoping that they testify against Diddy as prosecution witnesses.
Perhaps the most haunting aspect of this saga is the idea that Diddy's greatest enemy might not be the legal system, the media, or even his accusers. It might be himself. For years, he built a brand around being unstoppable, untouchable, larger than life. But now, stripped of his wealth, his freedom, and possibly even his health, he faces a reality that no amount of money or influence can change. As the world watches his story unfold, one question lingers. Is this the end of Sean Diddy Combs, or just another chapter in a life that has been anything but ordinary? As days turn into weeks and weeks into months, one thing is certain: his story isn't over yet. Whether he rises from this stronger or falls even further from grace remains to be seen. But for now, all we can do is watch and wonder. Is this truly justice, or is it something else entirely? And perhaps the bigger question, what does it say about us that we can't look away?